Hi, I'm Greg McMichael, former Major League pitcher. I was fortunate enough to play 13 plus years with the Atlanta Braves, Oakland Athletics, Los Angeles Dodgers, and New York Mets. Well, one thing I've noticed among the athletes who like to play baseball and play a lot of it, there's really a lot of things that have to occur. I think there has to be an overall general strength that needs to happen, because baseball is not a very natural sport because you're throwing a ball, there's a lot of wear and tear on the shoulder. So we've seen over the years that you really need to develop good rotator cuff strength, because as the arm decelerates, that tends to be the spot where a lot of damage occurs, and those are such small muscles that tend to fire. You really have to do some very specific exercises for that. The other thing I've noticed is that there needs to be a lot of core strength, because that relates to your balance, it relates to the explosion, or it relates to the rotation that the body does when you're throwing the ball. And then there's a lot of leg strength that you need for driving off the mound. Obviously, you are driving down a plane. The better your legs are, it relates to your core, and then it ends up taking a lot of pressure off your shoulders.
We like to address each position, apply our resistance, overspeed, and reaction drills to those individual positions, and get very specific with what we're doing. So for example, we'll take a catcher, we'll attach resistance cords to his legs, to his back, make him work while he's down in his stance. We'll take an infielder, we'll have them attached to a certain cord or harness and have them working their movements that they're doing laterally, coming downhill, charging balls. Outfielders, we'll take them and hook them up and make them have to work on their drops, open their hips, go on and tracking balls in the outfields. And then we also work specific for batting and for base running. They're two distinct movements. And when we combine all of these specific movements together, we're making better athletes, better first basemen, better catchers, better outfielders. And that's what really makes better baseball.
The specific position work that we've done has been absolutely amazing with the hitting harness. If you can add 10 to 15 miles per hour in your bat speed, it changes you as a player. And I think not just for me, but for my whole team, if we could do that, it would make us substantially better. I
think Tripp does a very good job. It's the kind of training that I did as a player. Actually, Tripp's dad, Chip, trained me when I played, and we got in the pool and we did a lot of explosive stuff with our legs, with our core. Out of all the years that I played, it was probably the best shape that I've been in, and it's probably a time where I felt like that I was the strongest, and I was able to perform at a high level for long periods of time.
My name is Brian Jordan. I played 2 professional sports. I was very blessed and fortunate to have that opportunity. I played 3 in the NFL with the Atlanta Falcons, and 14 total years of Major League Baseball. But I can remember when I was 37 years old, I thought I had lost a step. I thought my power was gone, and that's when I met Chip Smith here at Hammersmith. And I gotta say, he really prolonged my career another 3 years. I was fortunate enough to play until I was 40. And the important thing was he gave me that confidence back. He taught me the right muscles to use mechanically to improve my first step on the field. And really my hips, I really needed to focus on my hip strength, and he taught me that. I never knew that until I met with Chip, and all of a sudden I regained my power, I regained my speed, and thanks to Chip, I played another 3 years.
One big issue that we face with baseball players is injury. It seems nowadays athletes younger and younger are having more and more injuries, and our goal is to prevent that as much as possible. Now, injuries happen, and that's part of the game, but if we can reduce that, we can make athletes play longer, play better, have longer careers that are healthier, and that's kind of our goal here. One of the big injuries that athletes get is, shoulder problems. We like to identify the problem, treat it, make sure that we're strengthening the shoulder, the rotator cuff, and protecting the athlete so that they're not getting an overuse injury, not having to get Tommy John surgery at 13 years old. We want to make sure that we're protecting these athletes and that they're doing everything that they can to ensure that they're not going to be injured throughout the season.
The year before I was with Chip and Tripp, I experienced a lot of shoulder pain from pitching. And last offseason, we got in here and we talked about it. We figured out a routine, and
The routine was completely non-baseball related. It was all weight room, it was rotator cuff, it was stretching, it was exercising, it was taking care of my hips, and in general, just maintenance. This whole season, through 135 innings, completely pain-free after a season the year before where I was in pain almost the entire time. Any sport, any athlete requires just a solid base of athleticism. Baseball, you have very unbalanced bodies. Right-handed throwers are really strong on their right hand and really weak on their left. And the whole off-season is in an attempt to balance your body out, to just become equally strong on both sides. And in that sense, that's the same as every sport. Everybody's trying to be as even as possible on all sides. So whether the sport is, you're just training athletes, and the best athletes are the best athletes at any sport.
If you want to take your baseball game to the next level, our programs here at Hammersmith Sports will get you there in a hurry.